Hi, I'm Michelle from Travelling Over 60. Come join us for part 2 of our variety cruise. 7 nights in Tahiti on the Panorama 2. If you're in a cabin downstairs, watch out for these steps. They are very skinny. It's hard to get your foot on. It's hard to show you, but be very careful, especially if the boat is rocking. Okay, room 18 on the ship. And this is our room. It's very small but comfortable. 2 single beds, and in here we have a fridge, PowerPoints over here, we have PowerPoints, light switches, telephone. Oh, we have a TV back here. TV. And just coming around here, we have the bathroom, which is very small. Can't fit a lot in here. That's it. But it does the job. Cupboard. We have a safe, extra pillows down the bottom, and life jackets up the top. Some coat hangers, and that's it. Suitcases just have to be stored to the side, and that's our room. Oh, one more thing, a porthole. I'll just try and get over here and see if I can open the blinds. They've been and made our room up, and there's the porthole. Our shore excursion for Moorea was a dolphin watch expedition. We travelled in these very small Zodiacs to another dock where we picked up our boat for the trip. There were small rocks here. We needed to climb out of the Zodiacs up onto this dock, but there was staff there to help you get up onto the dock. Then we transferred across into another boat, and out we went looking for the spinner dolphin. Now, you don't always get what you're looking for. It is nature, but we did see some stingrays and some sharks. And then it was time to go back to the boat to see the beautiful sunset. Once back on board, we set sail for our next destination, and the swell started to rise. This is how much the boat's rocking. Big swells. The dining area was upstairs, and the boat rocked like this right through dinner service. The stairs are very narrow to get up like the other stairs, You need to be very careful walking on them, especially while the boat's rocking. When we were sitting for dinner, the plates and the cups were rocking and rolling and slipping. You need to try and hang on to them. Lots of people started to feel a little bit sick. They suggested to us that you sit and look at the horizon. I suggest that you bring something for seasickness, and then just be very careful while you move around the boat, hanging on as you walk. They told us that the boat would rock like this right through the night, and so after dinner and some chatting with the other guests, we decided to go down to the cabin. We looked out the porthole, and it was a bit off-putting seeing the water splash over the porthole like this, but we tried to get some sleep. You rocked and rolled in the bed the whole night long. And they were very small beds, so we put a footstool in between, remembering they were two single beds, and the footstool just seemed to save us from falling out of bed. So be very careful with the rocking and rolling while you're trying to sleep. Welcome to Raiatea. We've arrived now in Raiatea and we've docked, so we're on a dock. We're getting off the ship via a gangplank. Take it easy. I don't really like these myself. Whoa, a bit wobbly. They have a rope to hang on to. Whew, I'm always glad to get off it. Beautiful place. We had a really rocky night last night. I will talk about that a bit later, but it was really rocky and most of the people on board haven't had any sleep. We're just going over to look at some more markets, and I'll be looking out for toilets and ATMs if there is any, and the markets you can discover for yourself. When going through the markets, be careful. The steps are like stones and concrete, but they're very uneven. And then in the shops you have these little pebbles. And don't forget to look up, because they hang lots of things up high and on the fronts of the shops and things. And today is Sunday, so a bit disappointing for us. Lots of the stalls are closed. So we found a taxi stand that quite often there's taxis there, they tell me, but because it's Sunday, there's nothing. Walking around the streets, take it easy, because there's slopes, and in some spots there's broken gutters, there's steps up. But take a look at this beautiful, beautiful water. So clean. You can see right down to the bottom. It doesn't come up so well on the video, but just take a look. Welcome to Raiatea. Not far from where we have docked, there's up to the right hand side, there's a little supermarket that has everything. So if you're looking for something, you've forgotten something, they have toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorants, sunscreen, everything you can think of. They have Coca-Cola, all sorts of drinks, snacks, everything seems to be in here. Now if you're here on a Sunday, they're only open until 12 o'clock. So the markets were here, but as you can see, the doors are closed. There were 3 that we could have a look at some stuff, but what I did notice, come across here, if you walk across there down the white building at the end there is also a supermarket. We didn't go into that one, but I'm sure it's equal to the one we went through that had everything. Keep in mind with the weather, it's very hot here. If it rains on you, you'll dry. But these clouds come over really quickly and then drop rain on you and then they move on. Found some toilets, but they're locked. It's Sunday. But enjoy the water lilies. We have just heard the ATM machines are down this way. Just have a bit of a look if we can find them. This is where all the markets would have been, all these little huts. Out here, I can't see an ATM machine. Let's keep looking. So we're just walking a bit further down that street where that's the supermarket over there. Turn to your left. And there's ATM machines there if you're looking for ATM machines. Our shore excursion on Raiatea was to Pape'ete in the local truck, and that it is, a truck. It's the school bus. We stopped along the way to have a look at some views. We also had a quick stop at one of their local gardens. No toilets or anything here. And it wasn't very easy to get around. I'll show you in a video. Just walked up this great big slope, the road, but the alternative was a whole lot of steps. So make sure when you're going on your tours, you ask if there's steps or some way you can get to see what it is they're going to look at. The alternative was to walk down and up these stairs. That's a lot of stairs. Check in with your tour guide. Then we arrived at Pape'ete. It's quite a spiritual site for the Tahitians, flat ground to walk on, although you can't walk on the site. Some swimming if you'd like. There's tables and chairs for a snack and toilets here. After that, back to the ship to watch another beautiful sunset. If you come in on the boat and you walk down the wharf a little bit, straight off the wharf, you are greeted with a rum shop that looks like you can go in and do some tasting. That's for you to discover. Now we're walking just on a road and there's potholes, and potholes are full of water, no gutters. Doesn't seem to be any lips or anything. I can't see toilets or anything, but I'll go and see what we can find. We came off the wharf and walked right. We walked for about 10 minutes and came across this little jetty looking thing. And we think you could probably, if you wanted to get in and swim here, maybe do some snorkeling, but we can see fish, but we might be able to show you just like little schools of playing fish. Oh yeah, you might be able to see that. Now, other than that, it seems only to be houses and a dog. We're going to walk back to where we came from. Just showing you, we walked along the side of the road here, so it's grass, it's rocky. The big holes, I'll show you, there's big holes. The big holes, there's one. is where crabs live. So sometimes you see crabs coming out of them. Nice not to tread on them. We're just going to make our way back to where we came and go the other way and see if there was anything more. Certainly no ATM, no toilets. All the beaches are public beaches, but you can't get to them really because the houses are built right up to the water. So you have to go along to somewhere like that jetty so you can get into the water and then swim. Let's see what we find the other way. We walked 10 minutes to the left of where the wharf is, and there's not too much up this way either. If you wanted to maybe have a swim, I'm not even sure where you would get in, maybe over there somewhere, which would be another 10 or 15 minute walk. Now, going back this way, the way we've just walked, we did cross paths with a little supermarket that seemed to sell everything like the others before. It's a typical supermarket. It had toothbrush, toothpaste, sunscreen, drinks if you're after a drink, snacks if you're after snacks. And we're just going to make our way back to the ship now. And we have booked on a tour that goes around the island this afternoon. So if you're coming to Taha'a, I suggest you book on a tour or try and look something up that you can maybe arrange yourself. There was some boats on the wharf you might be able to hire to take you somewhere. But other than that, beautiful scenery. Houses seem quite, they seem large, but just basic. Just trying to get back a bit further to show you where that supermarket was. Roosters on every island. And we found, we can hear dogs here, but there's a couple that are out, but there was definitely stray dogs on the other islands we've been on. Looking back here, and the supermarket, it's a lot further down than I thought from where we've walked. When we get back to the wharf, I'll show you. Here we are at the supermarket. No signage or anything, but you can just see in the doorway, I think. And you can just go in there and buy whatever it is you're after. Back this way, walking back to the wharf. Now we've been out walking for a little less than an hour. It's only 9:15 in the morning and it's hot. Really hot. I'm ready to get back onto our ship with air conditioning. Now keep that in mind, take plenty of water with you when you go for a walk, and sunscreen and a hat. We are just walking in thongs, flip-flops, but if you wanted to, you could probably put on some closed-in shoes because you were walking just on the side of the road. But here's our ship back here, and we're getting back on it. Our shore excursion on Taha'a was a 4-wheel drive safari. This is the truck that you go in. Most of them are like this. We went to a rum factory where they showed us how the rum was made, and you got to do a tasting. A couple of places where you could see the views. A vanilla farm where they showed us the vanilla vines, the way they grow. We even got to go through their plantation. After that, we went back to their shop. It was a souvenir shop, but they had a lot of vanilla for you to buy. And then finally we made it to the pearl farm. You had to walk out on what looks like a boardwalk right up to the end. There's a shop up there, and she showed us how they make black pearls. After buying a pearl, our tour had come to an end. We went back to our ship for another beautiful sunset. Welcome to Bora. We'll be about to get off the dock shortly. Down the gangplank, which I think is called a Pastorella. Our shore excursion on Bora was a 4-wheel drive safari. If you book on a tour that's a 4x4, they're like this. And at the back, you do have quite a bit of a step up. So you step up on that little step there and then into the truck. It's not too hard, there's railings to hold and there's always people around to help. And here's another one. This is the one I'm on today, but they've mostly all been like this. And just to show you that the ground isn't really too bad, but it's soft. Some rocks here and there. It might be best to, on each tour, check whether you should wear closed-in shoes or not. But I just have thongs, flip-flops on, and it's perfectly fine for me. So this is the same place, but just slightly different area. Lots of rocks on this spot. In this spot, I wished I did have closed-in shoes. And up a little bit of a slope there too. So this tour was a 4x4, and this really was 4-wheel driving here. It was rocky, the car's wheels were slipping and sliding, but the 4-wheel drive got us up the hill. We came all the way up. And even here, so it's quite bumpy. If you've got a problem with your back or something like that, a 4x4 was on Bora especially may not be for you. Check in with them first. We made it to the lookout we're going to. But that's for you to discover for yourself.
Done with something, whether it be like
by getting here, I wished I had shoes and socks on my feet. Some sort of a jogger, closed-in shoe. Even if you have the reef shoe that has the traction on the bottom. I'll show some more a bit further up. Here's some of the track that we just walked down. As you can see, there's roots, rocks, and the path is very rocky. I did not feel comfortable just having thongs on. I definitely would have some sort of closed-in shoe. Just showing you there, because if you come down, you have to go back up. 10-minute walk though. Bora has a public beach that you can catch a taxi here from the wharf where we were docked, and it's absolutely magnificent. When you come in your taxi, tell him what time you want to be picked up and he'll come back and get you. Beautiful. Nice sand. Sandy beach. Stairs to get down though. This was the boat that they did another shore excursion on. They went and swam with stingrays, but we didn't go on this one. Information. Walk through here, and just down here on the right hand side, directly in front of me is where you will come and catch a taxi. Now, there is a bit, some potholes. It's a bit hard to see with this. There's a little bit of one. There's a little step. Just watch your footing while you're walking. The whole of Tahiti is like that. And right here is the tourist information behind this big bush. All the taxis waiting. There's a big cruise ship in at the moment. So when the cruise ships come in, it's best to try and get here as quick as you can so that you can get a taxi. Here's the tourist information. You come in here if you're looking for a tour. They also have free Wi-Fi. Password's just up on the window there. It's cool. And then if you walk down here a bit further, there is some ATMs. Where did I see the ATMs? There's a market over there where you see that roof, the thatched roof. If you go in there, there's a marketplace. I know I definitely saw some ATMs down here. It'll be just a little bit further. Beautiful. Okay, so I've walked down here to the end nearly. And the ATM machines are over there. So I'll just walk a bit further. Down to the right, there's some shops, there's pearl shops, there's shops that sell t-shirts, all sorts of souvenirs. And if you walk down on the right hand side, I'm not quite sure if we'll see it from here, there is a little art gallery and souvenir shop. And then coming this way, if you walk up there about 5 minutes or so on the right hand side of the road, there is a supermarket that sells everything. There's cafes, restaurants on the left hand side, more little gift shops, and that's all that's around where the port is. The gutters are quite clearly marked in some of the places. Bright yellow, showing how deep they are. And I'm just going to walk down here. So this is where the ship is. It's there. If you walk down on the wharf, watching. I don't fall. And here's the market. This is on like the boardwalk. Surface here, the sand. This is the entrance to the markets. Just taking care of all the sand around. Lady on crutches, and the sand's quite slippery under her foot. We have pedestrian crossings, so that's good to cross the road. But in the middle here, this is a bit rocky again. Come across this before. Again, just watch your feet. And I'm going to walk down to where the art gallery was and have a bit of a look, so I'll show you as we go down. Down to go and see art, and it's a gift shop as well, but where stairs all the way up. There's a railing to hold on to, one on the other side. The lady with the crutches just made it all the way up, so if you're game, give it a go. And this is the shop here. So you're just in the doorway, but then you can discover for yourself. Oh yes, it's a beautiful art gallery. Second day Bora, and we've come out today to what is the public beach where we were in the other video. This time we're a little bit further up the beach, and it's actually, you can walk in off where the road is. There's no steps, so they can park their car here if you get a taxi, come down, and you can walk straight into the water. If you're here with a group and you get into a taxi, the taxi will do a good deal on the fare if you're all in together. And so make sure that you're telling them that there's more than one of you. Sometimes there might be 4 or 6. They have minibuses here. And then tell them what you require when you come to the public beach. So you can say to them you want to go where the snorkeling is, or if you've got some sort of a mobility issue, you can say I need to be able to just walk straight into the water, no stairs. And this is probably where they'll bring you. And if you need a Coke or anything like that, there's a little restaurant there, and I'm pretty sure they told me there's bathrooms there as well. I'll check that out, and if it's not, I'll let you know. It's a little cafe where I said you could get coffee. They do have some snacks and things that you can purchase in there. They do have bathrooms, but they have a sign up. You can only use them if you be a client of theirs, so you need to buy something. After an afternoon at the beach, we came back to the boat, and there's some cute little boats that I thought you might like to see. We came back and made some flower crowns, and we watched the sunset before going to the captain's dinner. We were lucky enough to get an invitation to the captain's table for our anniversary. Dress code was smart casual. Got off the boat at the dock and walked about 2 minutes up the road here, and then once we get up to here, there's just housing up that way, so nothing more. On the side of the road you have to be careful, there's rocks, there's not much gutters on this side, On the other side there's a little gutter. Plenty of shops. And that's the yacht club just there. Down this way there's a little tiny ramp that you can go to for swimming. Or there's a little dock there. Go down here. And it's just a ramp down here. Oops. Just about to get run over. Move over. So just there. You can just walk straight down. It's a bit rocky on the road. A bit rocky and sandy actually. A little bit slippery if you're unsteady on your feet. And then you can just walk straight in and go for a swim. And if you look hard, here is the famous lady, Huahine. Opposite the little ramp to swim out is a cute little shop. Sells lots and lots of clothes. All different sorts of things, and next door is like a little cafe. We walked about the same length of time up to the right from where the boat is. There's little shops everywhere. This one just has a bit of a slope up, but the floor is actually tiled. There's a little snack sort of shop. It looks like they have sort of hot snacks. ATM is right here. It slopes up all the way. One side seems to have a raised gutter and the other side seems to be just a flat surface to walk on. But there's little rocks. Little markets, stalls all the way along. A bank where the ATM was. Food markets. Down here's a supermarket. It looks to be quite a big supermarket. Looks to have everything just like the others, just like what we have in Australia. And down here some stores. This is a supermarket. This little shop has cakes, a few snacks and bits and pieces of souvenirs. What I do want to show you though is the floors in some of the shops. I'll just cross the road. Remember to look both ways. So be careful. And there's these big gutters, drains, the gutters slope, drains there. And then I think we're back to where the ship is docked. So where our ship has come into dock is one spot, but some of the big cruise ships do come in around the other side of the island. We're only here for a very short time. I'm just going to show you the colours of the water. You will never get the colours of the water just by looking at this video. When you hear and see it with your eye, it's amazing. So clear. And you can see some people swimming where I showed that little ramp to go down. Some fish just swimming. But yeah, if you come in on a cruise ship and they come in on the other side of the island, there seems to be a shuttle bus. Oh, it's just come in. If you look up the end, that is a shuttle bus that takes you from here, and on the front it says city, beach, and I think it said snorkeling. But we're only here till 3 o'clock, so we're not going to be doing anything here, and we're just going to have a rest day on our ship, the Panorama 2. The fish, the water is so clear, you can just see the fish from the dock. Hopefully you can see those beautiful blue ones. I'll just see if I can get in a bit closer to that. They're probably not showing up the colour as bright as they are. But it's like this everywhere. Everywhere the water is so clear, so beautiful. Some little yellow ones over there. Not that way. There we go. It's just turning. White ones and black ones. Everywhere in Tahiti is so clean. I haven't seen papers on the ground at all. All of the guests have been gathered together and we're off on an adventure. We say goodbye to our ship. We're on another boat where we're going to a surprise lunch. We pass this little private island that you can rent out, and then we arrive to our surprise lunch. We were about to have lunch on the water. Lucky we wore our reef shoes. Waiting for the crumbs.
Mine's almost dead, babe. Mine's almost dead. Get yours.
Give your plates a rinse after lunch. Then it was time to leave. Pape'ete. We're back down at the wharf just to see what's around for dinner. Friday night the trucks come out, the food trucks, and there's lots of them. They're just all set up here on the side. Mainly looks like Chinese sort of inspired foods. Come down here and you just go around. They all have menus out. You can have a look. There's chickens running around everywhere, which is a bit off-putting, especially if you're about to eat chicken. And it's right by the road, but it seems quite nice. We're about to eat in this place here. They've brought us bread already, and we're about to order. The food was amazing. Right, just where we've eaten from the food trucks, there is also bathrooms here. And remembering right across the road, there is an ATM if you need it. Our Tahiti adventure had finally come to an end. My final thoughts on Tahiti: it's very accessible, very clean, and very safe. Majority of places, no matter what your ability is, you'll be able to get around. The food was lovely, the shopping was great. It was just an all-round great holiday. If you're interested in seeing part 1, which is Pape'ete, or the flights getting to and from Tahiti, please subscribe to my channel and you'll find them there. And finally, don't forget to keep checking back in to see our next adventure.